over the past few days, a rumor has resurfaced, once again attempting to link Jungkook to Winter. This new rumor specifically revolves around an alleged tattoo on Jungkook's arm. However, those who have followed his recent activities know that this detail doesn't match reality. When Jungkook was discharged from military service, part of his arm was visible on camera and showed no additional tattoos. Even after that date, he has appeared several times on live streams, and in all of them, his arm has been perfectly visible. One of those streams was the one where he prepared pasta with truffles. There, too, it was clear that he had no new tattoos. Fans also recalled that the show was filmed in June 2025. And yet, in every subsequent appearance, there is no trace of the much-discussed tattoo. To add to the confusion, a tattoo artist associated with a member of aespa mentioned that he also had a tattoo identical to hers, which led to interpretations that many consider improvised and aimed at creating a stir within the fandom. That's why many fans believe these stories are designed to draw attention to Jungkook and keep him in the spotlight, instead of focusing on other issues surrounding the company. Shortly after, the ratings for the most-watched shows on Disney Plus for December 4, 2025, were released. The show was among them, and the numbers clearly showed it didn't rank well. For many fans, this wasn't a surprise, as they had felt from the beginning that the format seemed forced and overly reliant on audience interest in the artists involved. Given this situation, many fans insisted that it's not worth giving views to content that clearly seeks attention through rumors. Instead, they recommend focusing on supporting what truly matters, Jungkook's music and projects across all platforms, as well as TAEHYUNG's work. The professional, personal, and artistic relationship they've built over the years, and which the Taekook fandom so deeply appreciates, remains a strong point of connection for their followers without the need to force mentions where they don't belong. It's simply recognized that both deserve continued support, each in their own way, and that supporting them is the most effective way to counteract unnecessary distractions. The message many fans repeat is clear: don't be swayed by unfounded stories that only seek to divert attention. In time, the truth always clears up any confusion. That's why there's so much emphasis on staying focused, supporting Jungkook and Taehyung's music, and avoiding falling for rumors designed to create controversy at strategic moments. During the December 5 broadcast of All Night Nippon X, part of the promotion for content meticulously planned by the company, Jungkook once again made clear something he's been demonstrating for years: he always acts with almost disarming transparency when it comes to who occupies his mind and heart. At one point in the show, the host asked Jungkook to recommend a BTS song to play between midnight and 1 a.m. Without hesitation, Jungkook chose Blue and Gray, the song composed by Taehyung. He didn't offer any dramatic explanation or try to draw attention to himself. He simply picked that song as his immediate choice, just as he has done on other occasions, where, unintentionally, he ends up showing that Taehyung is always on his emotional and artistic radar. Despite the constant rumors trying to drag him from one relationship to another, pairing him with anyone but Taehyung, these kinds of moments reassure Taehyung fans. Even in a space designed to promote a variety show, where the norm would be to opt for something neutral or predictable, Jungkook once again chose a piece created by Taehyung, as if their connection were present even in the smallest decisions. Many interpreted this as another silent response, a reminder that dispels the speculation surrounding the Jungkook fandom. Jungkook has always held Taehyung in a special place, and his choice demonstrates this once again without the need for words. For Taekook fans, it's no surprise to see these gestures repeated so naturally, because they've spent years observing how the two sing to each other, look at each other, and communicate even in silence. Their body language, the way they search for each other with their eyes, and the way they support one another, speaks louder than any rumor. Blue and Gray, the song Taehyung created from a place of emotional exhaustion and a search for relief, ended up becoming a piece that moved the group so deeply that they decided to include it in BTS's repertoire. It's a song that expresses weariness, doubt, and the desire to find someone who can be a refuge in difficult times. For those who closely follow Taekook, this choice carries symbolic weight. Jungkook is once again showing that TAEHYUNG is a figure he recognizes, values, and keeps close, even in public settings where he could have opted for something more neutral. Over the years, both TAEHYUNG and Jungkook have proven to be a source of mutual support, a safe and calm space even when circumstances force them to separate due to work or individual pursuits. That's why many fans see Taekook as two people who, without exaggeration or theatrical pronouncements, have forged a relationship marked by trust and constancy. There are silences that speak louder than any interview and gestures that reveal a deep bond that needs no embellishment. Jungkook has made it clear time and again that TAEHYUNG holds a firm place in his thoughts. In the same way, TAEHYUNG has also shown that Jungkook is essential to him. For those who believe in Taekook, these signs aren't random or fleeting, they're part of a story built over time, with music and love. They both deserve to experience their feelings freely, without pressure or outside interpretations. And although that moment hasn't yet arrived openly, many fans hope that one day they can show their relationship as it truly is, without shadows or doubts, with the same naturalness with which Jungkook chose that song on the radio. Sometimes, when you calmly observe how TAEHYUNG and Jungkook interact, you get the feeling that they themselves aren't fully aware of how much their gestures reveal. It's not exaggerated or rehearsed, on the contrary, it arises with a naturalness that draws attention even amidst all the activity around them. You only need to watch them for a little while to notice that Jungkook doesn't look at anyone else in that calm and direct way, as if there were a silent understanding that exists only between them. Similarly, TAEHYUNG often approaches him without thinking too much, as if that shared space were already established, something that simply belongs to them even when they're in front of thousands of people. Anyone who has followed Taekook for a while understands this silent language. It's not just about glances or the way they position themselves next to each other, it's the way small actions reveal a connection that doesn't need explaining. There are moments so fleeting they might go unnoticed by anyone not paying attention, but those who do recognize patterns, replay scenes in their memory, and find meaning in what seems casual. For many, these aren't just isolated gestures, but pieces of a story that has grown over the years, accompanied by music, shared work, and a closeness that has withstood changes, travels, phases, and silences. There's no need to embellish what happens. In every broadcast, every video, or presentation, there's always a moment when they reach out to each other without it seeming planned. There are minute details that stand out because they aren't repeated with others. And while for some these behaviors are simply gestures between friends, for those who believe in Taekook, they represent consistent signals, a type of communication that doesn't depend on verbal explanations. For them, this bond deserves to develop without pressure, without exaggerated interpretations, or outside expectations. Even so, there's hope that if they ever decide to reveal their relationship as it truly is, they'll do so with the same naturalness with which Jungkook chose that song on the radio at a moment many consider significant. Not because the melody alone confirmed everything, but because the decision seemed to come from an honest place, from those authentic impulses that don't require public explanation to carry weight. What's most interesting is that, even without direct statements, there's something about the way they connect that's very evident to those who observe closely. It's not dramatic or exaggerated, it's more of a consistent pattern. Every small interaction seems guided by a kind of intuition that only arises when two people know each other deeply. And that makes every appearance they share special, not because of what they say, but because of what they convey without even trying. Perhaps that's why so many fans continue to support them. They don't expect grand gestures, definitive words, or public clarifications. They simply recognize a distinct dynamic, something that stands out even when they both try to remain neutral in front of the cameras. And that naturalness, that way they seem to understand each other effortlessly, is what makes Taekook's story so analyzed, so discussed, and so present over time. For those who choose to watch without filters, it's hard to deny that something special happens there, something that doesn't need to be explained to feel real.